Once, the Bible Belt stood as an immutable pillar of American identity, a region where Protestant Christianity was not merely a faith, but the very fabric of public life. Entire communities were structured around the rhythm of Sunday services and the moral compass of evangelical doctrine. Yet today, we observe a profound and accelerating transformation. Churches are emptying, established denominations are shrinking, and the socio-religious landscape of the American South is undergoing a rapid redefinition. This documentary inquiry seeks to analyze the forces behind this unprecedented shift and explore its far-reaching implications for the future of American society and religious scholarship. The term Bible Belt historically delineated a contiguous region, primarily encompassing the southern and parts of the Midwestern United States, characterized by a pervasive adherence to conservative Protestant Christianity. This geographical and cultural designation emerged from distinct historical trajectories, including the Second Great Awakening and the enduring legacy of revivalism. Its theological bedrock was often rooted in evangelical and fundamentalist interpretations of Scripture. Sociologically, the Bible Belt represented a unique cultural synthesis where religious institutions exerted profound influence over social norms, political discourse, and educational systems. Church attendance was not merely a personal choice, but a communal expectation, fostering a collective identity deeply intertwined with religious observance. This pervasive influence shaped everything from local ordinances to national political movements, defining a significant segment of American cultural identity for generations. Contemporary data unequivocally points to a significant decline in traditional religious adherence within the Bible Belt. Longitudinal studies and demographic surveys reveal a sharp decrease in church attendance across various Protestant denominations. The Southern Baptist Convention, historically a dominant force in the region, has reported a consistent loss of millions of members since the early 2000s, signaling a substantial demographic shift. This trend is further evidenced by the physical landscape. Once thriving megachurches now struggle with dwindling congregations, while thousands of smaller community-centric churches face closure or conversion. For sale signs on church properties and the repurposing of sacred spaces into secular venues underscore the economic and social pressures confronting these institutions. These empirical observations necessitate a deeper analytical framework to understand the underlying causal factors. The observed decline is not attributable to a single cause, but rather a confluence of interconnected socio-cultural, political, and institutional factors. A primary driver is the profound generational shift occurring across American society, particularly among younger demographics. Millennials and Generation Z exhibit a marked decrease in institutional religious affiliation, often expressing skepticism towards traditional structures and doctrines. The increasing entanglement of religious institutions with partisan politics has also proven to be a significant alienating factor. When churches become perceived as extensions of political movements, particularly those aligned with conservative ideologies, they risk alienating congregants who hold diverse political views or who seek spiritual solace divorced from partisan strife. This politicization has contributed to a perception of churches as divisive rather than unifying forces. Furthermore, a series of high-profile scandals, particularly those involving institutional abuse and financial impropriety, have severely eroded public trust in religious leadership. For many, these ethical failures represent a profound betrayal of core religious values, leading to disaffiliation and a broader questioning of institutional legitimacy. The moral authority once wielded by these organizations has been significantly compromised. Cultural shifts, accelerated by urbanization, globalization, and the pervasive influence of digital media, have also reshaped the social environment that once sustained the Bible Belt. Traditional community structures, often centered around local churches, have fragmented as individuals gain access to diverse information sources and form new social networks. This broader cultural evolution challenges the insular nature that once characterized many religious communities. Finally, the rise of the nones, individuals who identify as having no religious affiliation, represents one of the most significant demographic transformations. This heterogeneous group, encompassing atheists, agnostics, and those who simply do not identify with any organized religion, is now one of the fastest-growing segments of the population, even within historically religious regions like the South. Their increasing numbers fundamentally alter the religious landscape. The future of the Bible Belt is not monolithic, but rather a complex interplay of adaptation, retrenchment, and fragmentation. Some religious institutions are actively seeking to adapt by embracing more inclusive theological stances, focusing on social justice initiatives, and engaging in community service beyond traditional evangelism. These adaptive strategies aim to resonate with younger, more diverse populations. Conversely, other churches and denominations are doubling down on conservative theological and political positions, often becoming more insular and rigid in their doctrines. This retrenchment strategy, while appealing to a shrinking core of traditionalists, risks further alienating broader segments of the population and accelerating their own decline. The ideological polarization within religious communities mirrors broader societal divisions. The statistical evidence suggests that the South is no longer guaranteed to remain America's undisputed religious stronghold. Demographic projections indicate continued diversification and secularization, challenging the historical narrative of the region. Historians and sociologists posit that the Bible Belt, as a dominant cultural and political force, may not endure in its traditional form through the 21st century. The implications of this unraveling extend beyond religious institutions themselves, impacting social cohesion, political alignments, and the very definition of community in the South. As traditional religious frameworks recede, new forms of civic engagement, secular community building, and diverse spiritual practices are emerging to fill the void. This transition presents both challenges and opportunities for social scientists to observe and analyze. The Bible Belt, once a defining feature of America's cultural and spiritual identity, is undergoing a profound and irreversible transformation. Its historical role as a bastion of conservative Protestantism, where faith and daily life were inextricably linked, is diminishing. This documentary analysis reveals a complex interplay of generational shifts, political entanglements, institutional failures, and broad cultural evolution driving this decline. The collapse of the Bible Belt, understood as a dominant socio-religious construct, is not merely a regional phenomenon, but a significant indicator of broader shifts in American society. What emerges in its wake, whether new forms of spiritual expression, robust secular communities, or a more fragmented religious landscape, will undoubtedly reshape the future trajectory of American culture, politics, and social organization. This ongoing transformation demands continued scholarly attention and critical inquiry. This is the Scholar's Ledger, where history, faith, and power are revealed. Like, share, subscribe, and join the search for truth.